And welcome to the channel. So we've got a Vox AC30 Valve Reactor. So we're going to have a look at this. Lights up, but no one's at home. Let's have a look here. So just on the handheld gimbal at the moment, so you can see if we look here, we just go in. We've got the volume, treble and bass there, normal channel. Then we've got the overdrive channel here. Gain, volume, bass, middle and treble. There, we've got an on-off switch for the overdrive. Different types of overdrive 1, overdrive 2, and then we've got the master volume over here, reverb and tone cut, power switch and so on. Let's have a look at the back. To see on the back, really, a couple of speaker sockets, foot switch and an extension speaker. A couple of Celestions in the back there, in the bottom there rather. So we've got a couple of those. So as I say, this lights up but no one's at home, and I'm beginning to wonder whether the channel switching doesn't work either when I tested it quickly. So I'm thinking that there's some voltages missing somewhere, but it's absolutely dead, this amp. So we're going to get the back off and get the chassis out and have a look. Oh, look at this. My days. That there's some tiny components in there. Dear oh dear. I shall have my work cut out with this one. So the first thing to do then is get some power on it and test for voltage. If we can find the fault, we might be able to fix it. I don't if this turns out to be a resistor, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I've got nothing that small. They are minute things, 1/8 watts or whatever. I don't have any resistors like that because I just don't repair stuff like this very often at all. In fact, not at all. So, and I do repair some solid state stuff, as you know, on the channel. But the very latest stuff I don't do a deal of. And it's always a bit of a struggle as well when the parts are that small. I think we'd better get the 12 watt soldering iron out as well. I don't fancy going at this with a big iron. Even the one that, you know, the iron we use on this bench, I can turn it right down, but I don't fancy going in with that. I think we use the 12 watt iron on here. Yes. But there we go. Anyway, you can see inside, you can see we've got this Belton reverb here, Digilog reverb. The last one of these type of reverb tanks, now what was that in? A little single-ended amp that we did, and the reverb was cracking on it. It really was. So maybe that is as well. And I can't remember who made the other one now. Might have been Akitronics. I'll have to think what that was. I'll go back through the videos and find it. I think we did 2 or 3 two parts of that video. But I can't think what that, you know what I'm like when I'm on camera, I just go blank. And it's not nerves either. I don't, obviously I don't suffer from nerves, not even on stage or anything. Been doing it too long for that now. Sound a right bored, don't I, saying that? Still get the adrenaline, but have I finally reached that age when I'm talking to young ones? Don't get no nerves when I'm on stage, lad. I've got me guitar. Yeah, I haven't quite reached that point yet. In fact, I'm hoping that I never do. But yes, that did sound a bit, as we used to call it when we were kids, fogified. Am I allowed to say that now? Is that still politically correct? Anyway, I can't be classed as an old fogey. I can still run as fast as a 20-year-old. As Clint Eastwood says, you've got to keep the old man out. And I'm doing a reasonable job of that at the moment. But a few more repairs like this, and I may be struggling. I may go insane, like the guy in the Inspector Clouseau films, his boss. Anyway, I'm waffling again. Too much waffle. Let's get some power in this amp and see what we've got, or what we've not got. Right, filming this, not going to be easy, because I have to be careful I don't get in that close that I'm got my head in the way of the camera. Right, I've got a 100-watt bulb on it, switch on, bulb's just lit very dim. Got 212 volts going into it and 130 milliamps, bulb's barely lit at all. So that looks right, but we've got no sound at all. So let's have this. Do we see any? Yeah, we've got filaments, so we've got voltage there then, haven't we? And we just need to switch off again, because if we're going to take this out, we have a problem with this. We need to make sure that it does not fall onto that circuit board. Are we still just trying to see how far I can get to zoom in? Go too far because we won't get it in shot. It's quite a long thing. It is, but yeah, that's secure now. So let's I think I need the thinner probe for that. These are the thicker ones. Actually, I can get them underneath. So we'd expect pin 1 to have voltage on. And there's nothing there. Oh no, I'm back to front. Fool, we're looking at it there. Duh, idiot. We've got something there, haven't we? Not much though. Half a volt. Let's see what we've got on this, on any of these chips. I can't, obviously we just have to go, we have got something there. $15 volts. So we've got the voltage. Well, we have on that chip anyway. So that's obviously that end pin. And that's the negative rail. So let's see if we've got the positive rail. This end, far end. Try that one. Yep, how about this? That's positive rail. That's a input. And let's see, it's on this end then. So yeah, that's the negative rail, but I don't see a positive rail on there. What is that chip? See, this is where the problem comes now, is that when you're filming, so I've got to put these 6x glasses on and get in so close, all you're able to see is my hat. Oh, it's a TL072. TL072CB, the old, yeah, the old op amp. So I can't remember the pin out on those, because as I say, I don't work on these often enough. So let me just get a, I bet you what some of you are watching and know which pin it is. Tell me which pin it is. If only you could communicate, say, oh, it's that pin there. Pin 3, pin 4, whatever. But it's, I don't know, I'll have to go and check. Right, I've got a pin out here. You probably can't quite see it, but, or you can see a bit of it, can't you? So I keep saying TL072, it's TL072. And the reason that we tend to do that is that, certainly where I come from, like phone numbers, where it's 07 whatever, we'll say 07. And it's just get into a habit of doing it. So excuse me, I'm not illiterate, it's just, well, probably it's illiterate, but anyway. So let's have a look then. So I'm presuming that that dot there is that there, so that seems pretty logical, in which case it's the opposite way round, and so that's pin 4, and that would make sense because that's the negative rail there, which means that this must be the positive rail, and there's sod all on it. And look at that reading on there, 0.0685. Is that the same as what's on that plate? Near enough, very close. So it looks like the 50 volt positive rail is missing, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if it's missing on all of them. The same orientation. 16 on there. Nothing on there. Yeah, a negative rail on that one. Let's try this one here. Yeah. Let's move this. And the same on there as what's on here. So we're missing the net. We are missing the positive rail. Well, at least we know what's missing. What we've got to do now is find out where it's missing from, haven't we? Right. Let's just switch off a minute. So we look at this schematic here. We can see that we've got this rail coming off this bridge, which is D3. So that is D3 there. And I've got R101, which is about the first component from there. So that might be a starting point, R101, if we can find it amongst this array of resistors. Obviously, you can see that the negative rail there, the 15 volt negative rail, and that we know that's working. So switched off. So let's see if we can find R101, shall we? And there, R101. Power supply is over there. R102 is there. Just say what wattage that is. No, R102 is actually under the board. Switch that meter back on. R102 is under the board. Oh dear, I don't have much luck on here, have we? Ain't got much room. This thing's rather large. Trying to fit it. It's not getting everything on the bench, it's getting everything in camera shot. R101 then. So there's R102. And R102 is 390R. Let's test that on Bully's prize board. Let's pull the plug out first. I know I'm getting a bit near the power supply. I don't fancy a jolt. Why have I put it on volts? I'm testing resistance. There we go. It's getting late now. It is 9:30 at night. and we're still at it. 0.453k. So yeah, that's a little over, isn't it? It is coming down, so but that's a bit over. So look what oh, it's a big large resistor, sand resistor, so I don't know. So that could vary. Where's R101? That's what I want to know. Come in R101, your time is up. And Pink's going to want feeding soon. I'm surprised she's not here harassing me. She's been to the vets today again. So she's not very pleased with me at the moment. And is probably going to seek revenge because the vet took her temperature, and we all know where he put the thermometer. She was not impressed. And I'll probably be getting a little nip for it later. So I can't see R101, I can see R102 obviously, R103 and R104. So obviously if that's under the board, my days, I'm going to have to take all this to bits. R101, I've just spotted it. It's there. Or one pin of it is there. But I'm not sure where the other pin of it is. There, R101. There's a pin there. And there's an empty here there. Oh, it's there, look. By gum, that must be that can't be right, surely. It is. That resistor's, wow. Well, I'll tell you what, that resistor's not blown because it's absolutely scalding hot. And so there's no way that's blown, is there? And there we go, look. 120R, that's on fire. I mean, how long's this amp been switched off now? 5 minutes? That thing must be glowing. That, I mean, it didn't burn me, but you couldn't leave your finger on it for very long. Yes. So that tells us that R10, this could be a long video. Have you got your popcorn? That tells us that we know we've got voltage there. So let's switch it on. Let's plug it in. My God, that resistor's hot. So unless there is a short somewhere and it's pulling the voltage down. So we know we've got voltage across that resistor and it's extremely hot. So is that the case then? So let's put it back on volts. Let's test this side of that resistor near the power supply, and there's 34 volts. Didn't expect, well, yeah, because it'll be dropping down, won't it? So this should be dropping it to, and there's nothing there. So is there a short on that rail? That resistor's extremely hot. Can we see what's going across that resistor? Let's have a look. 34.9 volts, which we'll call that 35 volts. Where's my calculator? 35 times 35 divide by 120. That is dissipating 10.2 watts. So I think from that we can deduce that considering that this amp's idling, we can assume that there's a short somewhere and that resistor is swaging. So yes, so something on that positive rail must be short, which kind of makes sense when you go to pin 1 here and you're getting half a volt. Right, so if we measure across R101, we get the resistance, but if we measure to ground here, we get the resistor there. If we measure the other side, it's short. Now I've disconnected this P9 from here. What's this one? I've disconnected P9 from here, you can see. And if we look on this schematic, you can see that P9 goes up to these resistors here, and that goes up to this tube here. So we've disconnected all of that, haven't we? So that's probably telling me that whatever we're looking for is down this end. Right, I'm a plank. We've got two diodes here, D4 and D5. What have we got there? D5 we've actually tested on the negative rail, and D4 is underneath the board. I was looking for that. Should have gone for those first, really. That makes total sense. I get there in the end. So D4 is under the board there, and if you look at the solder on D4, as you probably can't see, but it looks a bit dry jointed. So we're on diode check, and I would say he's dead short, although we have got a dead short on the circuit, but I think that's the problem. D4. So I think that is what the problem is. That diode has gone short. That Zener diode D4. That's on the 15 volt rail. Why did I not spot that? Well, that busy looking. Don't know why I never spotted those. I tested D4. Tested D5 as well, and then I don't know what we're thinking there. It's late at night. That was a plank moment, that was. And then I suddenly thought, where's D4? And yeah, under the board. And looking at those solder joints, I think we found our man. Why, oh why did they put that under the board? Probably because he'd be close to that capacitor here, which is why that's been put under the board. I suppose if I was putting it together, I would have done that anyway, so I can't really stand there and moan about that, can I, really? It's, thank you, henchman Dregs. That'll do, my lad. Well, you'll be on cheap meat for a week. So yes, if I come round here, excuse me, thank you. We'll try and zoom in. It won't be very clear, but you can barely see it. So move that wire there. That's where D4 is. And if you look at the soldering there, can you see how it's it looks a bit, and the other one is right at the side of the capacitor. Can you see how that looks like it's been boiled and dried again and gone dry jointed? So that's probably our culprit. I mean, it's not forced to be because everything's short in the circuit. So excuse me, thank you, thank you. So I think that's our problem. But of course, I've got to get the board out. Sassen, Rassen, Sassen, Dick Dastardly. Oh well, let's start getting the knobs off. Yes, and there's loads of them. So let's have a look what it entails then, taking out this board. Let's have a look. Gimbal battery low as well. I don't know. Right, I'm just going to see what Henchman Dregs is growling at, see if anyone's snooping around. Well, there's no one snooping around, but just in case, I won't feed him for another hour. Now then, so what does it entail taking out this board before the battery goes in the gimbal? So we've got to get all these knobs off, obviously, jack socket, clip here for the pilot light, and then we've got screw here, the heat sink, yes, so we may have to get this bottom board off. Is there any bolts in that heat sink? I would think so. So we've got a bolt here, pull the plug out, bolt here, bolt here. This must be bolted down somehow, but I can't see it's mounted in heatsink paste. And then we've got this to unplug here as well, and this to unplug here. This we don't need to unplug, we need to unplug the AC here, so we've got to snip that tie wrap there and take those spade connectors off there. Probably, yes we have. Ah dear, well, it's 10:10 at night now, and I try to get some of these what I deem as quick repairs done at night so I can focus on the restorations in the day. And although we've had quite a lot of repairs in, so we keep nibbling at the restorations, but this may not end up being a quick repair now. I've got to get all these knobs off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this board out, and then we'll come back and with a fully charged gimbal probably tomorrow. So we've got the board out, and I'll explain how I did that tomorrow when we're back on this. But I think we're going to have to order this diode. I don't think I've got one of these. So there's the diode. I've lifted one leg of it, and let me just put some 6 times glasses. I needed those to unsolder it. Let's have a look at the meter, and the other way. He's blown, madam, like Mrs. Blenkinsop's TV, blown. So that's the culprit, without a doubt. I should have spotted that sooner, really. I was getting a bit tired and late, and kind of went off on the wrong, on a tangent there, instead of just looking at everything else but, and then suddenly, bing, the penny dropped. So yes, we need to get that out now and find out exactly what it is, and order it, I think. But I know we've got none of those, but at least we found out what's wrong with it. We've got a box of bits, and yeah, it wasn't dead hard to take to bits, but a little time consuming. The backboards had to come off it. You can see that the wooden board, that's come off. Let's go down a bit more. So it took that off, and there's a couple of screw holes, look, in that heatsink. You have to get the back off to get to those screws, and the rest of it's pretty elementary, really. The obviously you just take the knobs off, take the nuts off the pots, take the screws out of the board, and then just take the back off and undo those 2 bolts, and it just comes out. So pretty easy. I've still got the AC and centre tap connected up because they were on really tight, and I didn't want to risk damaging the board or pulling them out of here. But it's 5 to 11 at night. Pink's getting ready for some grub, and so is Henchman Dregs. So I'm going to knock off now and we'll come back tomorrow. Right, so I thought I was going to have to order that diode, but I've been rummaging and I've got some 5-watt diodes. That diode's only 3 watts. And these are 5-watt diodes, Zener diodes. So we're going to pop one of these in under the correct voltage. And then what we're going to do is put this amp back together-ish. And then we're going to test it. Now, once I've got this amp running right, I'm going to have to take this board out again so I can re-silicon this heatsink. But while we're just testing it, it'll be fine. But obviously, to put it back properly. So we'll just get the board in quick. And we'll need to get that screw in when we test, because that is connected to that trace there. It'll be a ground. And then we'll just put 2 or 3 of the nuts onto the pots. Right, got it back together-ish, enough to test it. So got speaker on there. I've got power lead in there. I'm just checking that I have plugged everything in, and a 60-watt bulb in the current limiter. Let's see what we get. Well, we got a flick of light in the bulb, but it's gone dull. Drawing 100 milliamps. Got life in the speaker. And there we go, 15 volts, so we're running. We should be up and running. Let's look at the channel switching. Yes, that's working. Yeah, that's working, so that's good. So we're looking good with that. We've got 201 volts going into it, and it's drawing 100 milliamps. Now then, where's our resistor 101? Is there? I'm just going to move the camera slightly across here. Volts are, so now I've only got 15 volts across that resistor, half of what we had before, less than half in fact. And now it's only 1.875 watts. So there we go. That diode, probably a little bit underrated really, at 3 watts. So now we've got 100 watt bulb in there. Now we've got 222. Well, there's 18 now across that resistor. 18.9, 18.8, 15.9. So yes, just tested. You can't see the meters off camera. Let's come off the current limiter. Now up to 240 volts, so we're drawing 130 milliamps. Now, I'll be very careful now. I'm off the current limiter. And now there's 22 volts being drawn across that resistor. So now that resistor's drawing 4 watts. So yeah, that's looking good, and we've got sound through the speaker, so I'm sure if we put a signal generator on there, I'm sure we'll get a little something out of it. Volume. Which channel are we on? This one. There we go. Not got a lot going through it though, have we? Not very loud. Why is that then? Oh, master volume, duh. Yeah, that's right. Let's try the overdrive channel. Yep. Oh yes. Yeah. So everything's working on it fine. Everything's good. So what we've got to do now is put it back together. Let's unplug. So we've got to put it all back together now, and we need to, this heatsink, you can see this heatsink paste on there. We need to sort that out. Get some heatsink paste on that. We can't really use the old heatsink paste. That's just botch. So we'll sort that out, get it all back together, and it'll be ready for a demo, hopefully. Right, it's all back together, apart from the knobs need to go on. And we're all looking good. We are. Everything appears to be working. Put a bit of gumption in that switch, but other than that,
gumption, 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 gumption.
right, let's get it back in its case. Right, we've got this Vox amp all up and running. It's all together, back in its case. And yeah, fine. Got there in the end. I think sometimes it gets late at night and I'm looking inside these things and I start approaching it like I do a tube amp instead of a solid state amp. But yes, as soon as the penny dropped, we got there and found the old diode. Strip all the amp down for one diode. Crazy. But yes, we've upgraded it, so hopefully it should last now. So we're on the normal channel. That reverb is very nice, and those little reverb units are really, really good. Let's put it all in. So yeah, I've got this top tone cut. Doesn't work as well as it does on a normal AC30, but then it's not a normal AC30, is it? And it's not AC30 money, to be fair. So right, let's switch over onto the other channel. don't get that kind of overdrive on a Vox AC30, even when it's cranked up flat out. So let's just see what this gain's like then. Seems weird that coming out of a Vox AC30 with no pedals. So let's just have a look at the so that's the style switch, does it say there? 1 and 2. So that's full gain on. Rusty. So again, if we press that style button in, I know you can't see it there, but and yet it's a bit noisy because I'm over the top. It's quite bright. Yes, it's interesting. Very nice. Let's change the channel back. Here we go. nice for a solid state amp. It's tidy. Single coil. So there we have it. One component, and we've had to take the whole amp to bits just to fit it. It's crazy. It is, but that's the way they go. These amps, these modern amps now, they're all like that. But anyway, we fixed it. So in the end, a bit of faffing around on my part, but we got there in the end. So that'll do it for this one. So thanks for watching. You all take care, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye for now.